All right, hello. I hope everyone can hear me. All right, great. So, first off, I'm gonna be talking about my Max plugin. So this is a ambisonic panner. So right now, I'll go over the basics of how this works, and so this is what you could do. You could use this plugin if you wanted to create multiple speaker layouts or multi-speaker layouts. So you can have, using these ambisonic objects, you can have up to 128 speakers in a spherical manner. So right now I have, right here is my GUI interface to show how many speakers I have. Right now I have 4. So 2 in the front right here, and also 2 in the back. And using different degrees, you can have different amounts of speakers, and I can show that later. And then over on this, to the right, this GUI interface is the sound sources. And here I have a couple objects here. They can control the location of each sound source. So there is the azimuth, the elevation of a sound source, and also the distance that sound source is from the speakers. So another great thing about the interface here is that once they are placed down, you're able to manually move them with your mouse if you wanted to place them in specific locations. So you can have them move like so. And I can do a quick example with the rain. Once I turn on, there we go. So right now you can see that the red dot is controlling the volume of the rain. So right now it's in the back speakers, and you won't be able to hear it too much now since I assume most people don't have a 4-speaker setup going. But down at the bottom you can see the volume bars. You can see that the two in the back are, you hear the sound the most, and as you bring it forward you can see it's going to be in the center, and as you get closer so there is the basic functions of the ambisonic panner. So now if we get more into the nitty-gritty of things, we can look more into the code. So within the kind of the setup here, you have a basically you basically over here on the AUDI select, you can say how many sound sources you want, and you can control each coordinate through this object as well. So right now I have 4 main sound sources that I have here, each with 3 coordinates you can change. And then I have added one for an effect parameter, which you can open these up and add as many sound sources as you really want to. So as an example, I can go ahead and send that rain into a reverb effect, which then goes into my 5th input here for my ambient encode. If I play this, you can hear, and also the effect here is controlled on this orange dot. So you can make it like this, and you can also bring up the original. So you're able to control the original dry signal and the wet signal separately if you wanted to. You can also send them to the same input as well, and control them with the same point on the GUI. So the next part I want to explain would be my kind of an automatic panner. So right here we have an increment object, which basically counts from 0 to 720, which is 2 full revolutions around the circle, which I thought was a good number to use, so you can use them to automatically send. So right now I can send this to the azimuth of the black object, and you can see that it's spinning around pretty quickly. You can change the increments so that you can either do it slower, you can do it faster, and then you can also do negative, which is the elevation. Right now, let's see. All right. So as that is going, you can also use a P5 increment, which is just a little bit slower. And I'll change the elevation and distance. If I can get that right, there we go. You can see that it is spinning around with it. Stop those real quick. And let's see. So another thing I wanted to do with this was to create a controller to be able to change, so we don't have to be physically using the keyboard or mouse to change these parameters. So what I ended up doing was creating a Arduino controller that uses MIDI to be able to control these. And it's not prettiest of code, but we do have over here on the right side, we have the little drop-down menu to show what inputs I have. So the loop B internal MIDI is what I'm using to get the MIDI information from the Arduino. And I will real quick show a, physically I'm going to show you what the controller looks like. Let's see, turn on the camera. I hope everyone can see, but right now I do have my Arduino right here, and the joystick I'm using is a old PS2 controller joystick, but this one is made for the Arduino. And so the X and Y inputs on the joystick are sent to the analog inputs on the Arduino, 0 and 1. And then I also have a potentiometer on the edge, let's see, I can, right here, and that goes into the input of A2 on the Arduino. So that's basically the setup, and it's also connected through USB into my laptop, which is what I am using currently. So go ahead and turn that off. And the 2 programs that I use to get the Arduino to fully function with Max is first it's loop B1, which is an internal MIDI port, which takes which is what is grabbing the MIDI data from Arduino, and then also this hairless MIDI program, which when you set loop B as the MIDI output, you can then select the you can use that in Max to select the where you're accepting the MIDI information from. And you can see on MIDI, or the hairless MIDI, you can see that channel 1 is the I believe, okay, channel 1 is the potentiometer. As that goes through, kind of changes value as I turn. And then for the joystick on channel 2, you can see it sends out a lot of different values as I move that around. So currently I have it's sending data every 1 second, because right now on my laptop it seems to crash hairless MIDI pretty quickly if I move anywhere more than that. And then once you have, in Max, once you have the loop B set as your MIDI information, you can have the MIDI in, which sends a very large list of numbers, that's ASCII list. So it's ASCII numbers, so Max isn't able to fully understand that list. It's kind of just a bunch of numbers that it doesn't know exactly what that is. So it just turned those numbers into a symbol using the ITOA object, which then converts those numbers into something that Max can understand, and then turn that symbol into a message with from symbol. And you can see when you move, or when I move the joystick, it should be, sending me coordinates. At the current moment, it's a little janky. I don't know if it's the Arduino code or if it's just how I set up this the MIDI there. But what I ended up doing was, so when I move the potentiometer, you can see that big list of lines. It does put out on the fourth value there is what I really want to be seeing. So I take that fourth element of that list and I use that as the number. So then I have over here at the top left here, I multiply it by 4 so it can stay in more in a 360-degree range. And then let me get rid of that. So I can delete that. I can put that in here. And then as I turn the potentiometer, it should be, it's not as precise because every second it is taking that position. So you do have to move somewhat slow if you do want that to, right now it is, the red one or the black one is being moved by the potentiometer. But if on a faster machine, you should be able to increase the time or decrease the delay. So it does, should be able to see that a little bit faster on a little bit better machine. As you can see there. So that is the basics of it all. And then so that's basically the basics. And I feel like there's a lot of possibility you can use with this, especially if you have a larger speaker array. You can have up to 128 speakers, and you can put them in a spherical manner. So you can see over here, if you had more speakers, the GUI might not be as useful. You still have a lot more dots here. But what you can also do with the speakers, which is nice, that you can also drag out their position. So if you didn't want it to be exactly like a square or something, you can put them wherever you want, really. And the decode will understand where those speakers are and play the sounds correctly from each location. And within this object right here, the speaker patcher, that is where you select the location of each speaker. And if you go into that, you can also change the elevation. So that's how you add the spherical nature of your speaker arrays, just by selecting what elevation and what position on the map you want it to be. And then if you want it to reset, you can just press that button up there, and it'll reset up there. And yeah, that's my project. So I hope that was understood by everyone. I don't know if there's any questions. I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, we can go to the next presenter. All right, thank you.